right, Jurassic Park is scary, but haven't we all wished that place was real? Well, guess what? An Australian billionaire is currently in talks with cloning pioneers to make that dream a reality. Yep, you heard me right. We're talking about creating a real-life Jurassic Park. And let me tell you, the possibilities are absolutely mind-blowing. Can you imagine walking alongside a living, breathing T-Rex? Or seeing a herd of majestic Brachiosaurus grazing? This is the stuff that childhood dreams are made of. And we're here to bring you all the exciting details. So sit tight and get ready to experience the thrill of a lifetime. Clive Palmer, this guy, is the real-life John Hammond. Yes, this eccentric billionaire wants to bring dinosaurs back to life. I mean, who wouldn't want to see a T-Rex roaming around? But how is he planning to do this? Well, through the magic of cloning, of course. Now we all know cloning animals is nothing new, but cloning extinct species, that's a whole different story. But Palmer isn't one to back down from a challenge. So he assembled a team of scientists, including some of the world's top geneticists, to try and make his dream a reality. You see, Palmer has always been interested in science and technology. In fact, he's invested millions of dollars into research and development in these areas. But his latest idea has got to be his most ambitious yet. He wants to create a real-life Jurassic Park. Now you might be thinking, why would anyone want to do that? Isn't that just asking for trouble? And you're not wrong. Bringing back extinct creatures could have some serious consequences, but Clive Palmer has a different perspective. He believes that by resurrecting these animals, we can learn more about them and the world they lived in. Plus, he thinks it would be a major attraction for tourists. But how does he plan to do it? Well, the technology to clone animal already exists. He already hired a team of experts to work on the project. They're using the latest technology to extract DNA from fossils and piece together the genetic code of extinct animals. Palmer's team is planning to use a technology called de-extinction or resurrection biology, which involves extracting DNA from fossils and other remains of extinct species and then using that DNA to create a genetic sequence. The sequence is then inserted into the egg of a closely related species, and the embryo is then implanted into a surrogate mother. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this is real. The team is already working on several species that have gone extinct in the recent past, such as the passenger pigeon, the woolly mammoth, and the Tasmanian tiger. But what really caught my attention was that they're also planning to work on species that have been extinct for millions of years. Now imagine being able to see a dinosaur in real life. That's what the team is hoping to achieve. But let's be clear, this is not an easy task. So the team is working on developing new techniques to extract and sequence DNA from fossils and other remains. They're also using cutting-edge technology such as CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing to make changes to the genetic sequence of the embryo so that it resembles the extinct species as closely as possible. Scientists have used it to bring back species like the Pyrenean ibex and the African wildcat. But bringing back dinosaurs is a whole different game. First, we don't have any intact dinosaur DNA. And even if we did, there's no guarantee that the cloned dinosaurs would be exactly like their prehistoric counterparts. Anyways, if we keep that part aside, this whole idea of this project is literally mind-blowing. Now, if you want the practical idea of what these guys are planning, the Woolly Mammoth project is the one that you should look into. The scientists at Colossal Laboratories have been working tirelessly to bring back the woolly mammoth, and the project is finally coming to fruition. Yes, we're going to see woolly mammoth soon. But how exactly are they doing it? Well, it's a long and complicated process, but I'll break it down for you. Firstly, they needed to find some well-preserved DNA of a woolly mammoth. And where did they find it? In the permafrost of Siberia, of course. Scientists were able to extract DNA from the remains of a woolly mammoth that lived more than 40,000 years ago. Once they had the DNA, they needed to file a suitable surrogate mother. And what better candidate than the Asian elephant? After all, the Asian elephant is the closest living relative to the woolly mammoth. Next, they needed to figure out how to modify the DNA to create a woolly mammoth. Scientists identified the genes that were responsible for the woolly mammoth's adaptations to cold environments, such as its thick fur and small ears. They then used CRISPR technology to insert these genes into the Asian elephant's DNA. And voila, the woolly mammoth is back. Well, not exactly. It's still a work in progress and there are many challenges that need to be overcome. For example, the gestation period of an elephant is nearly 2 years, so it will be a while before we see the first woolly mammoth calf. But you might be getting now that the possibilities are endless. Anyways, now coming back to Palmer's vision, even though Palmer is really excited and ambitious about his vision, there appear to be some obstacles in his way. Do you recall when we said that extracting the DNA isn't that easy? Yeah, you see, the DNA of these extinct species is very old, and in many cases, it's incomplete. We all know that DNA is made up of 4 chemical building blocks or bases that pair up in a specific way, A with C and C with G. These base pairs form long chains that make up the rungs of the DNA ladder. Now, when an organism dies, its DNA starts to break down. This process is accelerated by exposure to heat, moisture, and other environmental factors. Over time, the DNA fragments into smaller and smaller pieces until, eventually, it's too degraded to be useful. So, why can't we just find a well-preserved dinosaur bone and extract its DNA? The problem is that even in the best preserved fossils, the DNA is still highly fragmented and degraded. This means that even if we could extract some DNA, it would be in tiny pieces that would need to be pieced together like a jigsaw puzzle. But wait, it gets even harder. DNA is also prone to contamination from other sources. For example, if a fossil is exposed to modern bacteria or fungi, its DNA could get mixed in with a dinosaur's DNA. This would make it even harder to distinguish the dinosaur DNA from other genetic material. So, what does all this mean for Palmer's project? Well, it means that even if they do manage to extract some DNA from a dinosaur fossil, it's unlikely to be enough to create a full genome. And even if they do somehow piece together a complete genome, they would still need to find a way to insert it into a living cell and get that cell to develop into a fully formed dinosaur. This is where things start to sound like science fiction. The idea of cloning a dinosaur from scratch is an incredibly complex and challenging process. It would require a deep understanding of genetics, cell biology, and embryonic development. And even if we had all that knowledge, we still might not be able to do it. But here's the thing, we can't say for sure that it's impossible. We've made incredible strides in genetic engineering and biotechnology in recent years, and who knows what breakthroughs might be just around the corner. Maybe one day, Palmer's team will be able to extract enough DNA from a dinosaur fossil to create a living, breathing dinosaur. Other than that, not everyone is on board with this idea. Some scientists are worried about the ethical implications of bringing back extinct animals. Others are concerned about the impact it could have on existing ecosystems. After all, if a dinosaur were to suddenly appear in the world again, it could potentially throw off the delicate balance of nature. It's a scary thought, but it's one that scientists are grappling with as they continue to work on Palmer's project. And let's not forget the potential dangers of having giant carnivorous dinosaurs running around. Well, we all saw the movie. Anyways, Palmer isn't deterred. He's already purchased a piece of land in Australia where he plans to build the park. And he's already started work on some of the facilities. He plans on creating a park where visitors can see the recreated animals up close and personal. And he wants to create an immersive experience that takes people back in time to when these creatures ruled the earth. Well, that sounds similar, right? Anyways, what do you guys think? Would you be willing to take the risk and explore a real-life Jurassic Park? Or do you think it's better to leave the past in the past? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in and be sure to stay subscribed for more exciting news and updates. Who knows what we'll discover next?